Today we have with us an amazing woman. Her name is Linda Goudsmit, and she is the author of an incredible book called Humanitarian Hoaxes, outlining 50 of them. Linda, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure.
So, Linda, starting off, what are some of the big hoaxes that you have come across? And maybe pick a couple or three and explain to us how dangerous they've been, some of the negative consequences that we've faced as a result of these hoaxes.
Well, all the hoaxes are deliberate, deceitful tactics to deceive the American people. And what they do is they are presented as humanitarian and altruistic, but really they're designed for destruction. And it's a very, very disturbing um, experience to really understand what's going on here. So um, I think if we start from the last one, it sort of explains the entire book of humanitarian hoaxes. And that's the 50th hoax is the humanitarian hoax of eternal childhood. And where we are in society now is we are at a point where the battle in the 21st century is between globalism and the nation state. So nationalism, by the way, is not a dirty word. I hate it when people get crazy if you use the word nationalism. So if it makes people happier, I'll just talk about Americanism right now. So the battle is between globalism and Americanism. And this is very serious. I mean, people think that after World War II, our enemies just went quietly off into the night and accepted defeat. No, they understood that America was undefeatable militarily. So what they did is they went back wherever they came from, they regrouped, and they decided to attack America with a different strategy. They were going to try to take down America from within. And what they did is they decided to attack the infrastructure. What made America undefeatable? Flag, faith, and family. Those are the three basic pillars of our American way of life. And so then you say to yourself, okay, well, how did they do it? Well, the globalists understood something that is really staggering, actually. They understood that the difference between the political systems of collectivism and individualism. So America became great from individualism, the meritocracy, and the American dream is you can do anything in America if you work hard and prepare yourself. Collectivism requires dependence, childish thinking. Freedom is an adult enterprise. So Americanism is only for adults. You got to want it bad. And what the globalists understood, I mean, this is a psychological operation at its very root. And that is the idea of attacking America was to attack the adult mental state of Americans, try to regress them back to a state of childhood, which the state of childhood is powerlessness and compliance. So when you think about it, collectivism, what are they offering? What's the bait? And then, of course, the switch. But what's the bait? Free stuff. Guess what, Alex? Free stuff is never free. What you pay for free stuff with your freedom. But most people don't understand that because, in my opinion, their civilized minds simply cannot absorb the malevolence of this. But I mean, there's never been strangers do not lure children with spinach. They give them candy, and this is the parallel that what the collectivism is offering, like Bernie Sanders. I mean, really, what he offered and is free stuff. Everybody's going to have income equality and social justice. Well, guess what? That's the big bait and switch because that never works. And it was Margaret Thatcher who said, socialism always fails. It never works because eventually you run out of other people's money. Right. So basically, what we have is a psychological operation against the American people trying to reduce them to childhood. So how did they do it? They did it with educational indoctrination and media indoctrination. So, I mean, the globalists aren't stupid. I mean, look at the media. And I think it was 1999 or in the 1990s, there was 50 media outlets. Now there's 6. So things are becoming centralized. And the thing about collectivism that people need to understand is that collectivism is centralized government. Now, America was built on decentralized government. So globalism in its essence is like centralized government on steroids. It's a supernatural, national, internationalized, worldwide one world government. And now some people say they try to be dismissive, the critic. Oh, that's crazy. You know, that's some conspiracy theory. Well, how about this? Every conspiracy started with a theory. So here we are. We've got the United Nations, which is the vehicle for globalism and for a one world government. And what I explain in these 50 hoaxes is that President Donald Trump is the existential enemy of globalism. He believes in the nation state. He came to office. What he wanted was Americanism. He wanted to make America great again. He wanted to run the country like he ran his business. It's the American family business. And what happened was, I don't think he ever had any concept of how the depth and the breadth of the deep state that was against him. So it's domestic and it's international. It's the battle between globalism and Americanism. That is why they're all trying to take him out. So they tried with the Russia collusion. That didn't work. They tried with the Ukraine gate. No, not quid pro quo. Only Biden was guilty of that. They tried with the impeachment. And now we have the pandemic. And where do all these things come together? And they come together in the United Nations effort, like even with Common Core. It's the effort to internationalize the world. One world government, one flag, one currency, no borders, one culture, one race. But think about it. This one world's got to have a government. So who's going to run the government? And that's what I find the most interesting, is that what I explain in these 50 hoaxes is that there is an axis of, war makes strange bedfellows. So we have the leftist, Islamist, globalist axis, and now, of course, the communist Chinese, because they, want the world to be communist Chinese, all pushing and trying to take down President Donald Trump. But think about it. Even if, God forbid, they were successful, then they have to fight each other because each one has their own vision for what this one world government ought to look like.
So you mentioned the coronavirus. Now, would you consider the coronavirus to be an example of a hoax that's being used to advance globalism? Yeah, so kind of give us some context. I mean, I don't suppose you think the virus itself is a hoax, but in what way is this being used as a hoax to move us toward this one world government that they're seeking?
Well, it's my opinion that, first of all, it's very clear that the coronavirus was manipulated in a lab. It does not happen in nature. Okay, so we can just start there.
Yeah.
But the coronavirus, I mean, think about it, I will say, in my opinion, was an economic bioweapon to take down to collapse the United States economy and defeat Trump in November. All of these efforts are to take down Donald Trump because he is the existential enemy of globalism. Think about it. Look at Nancy Pelosi even. I mean, she's the leader of the blue state, wear your mask, and I'm so afraid. It's all political theater. This is a virus that is no more lethal than the flu than an annual flu. And now we're shutting down the entire economy. And here's the thing that upsets me the most about it, the CDC. I don't think in a million years that President Donald Trump, who was very aware after, a short time in office that there were plenty of deep state people trying to take him out, he would ever think that the CDC was a globalist enterprise. But look who's there. Fauci, Birx. They work for Bill Gates. Bill Gates is an absolute total globalist who thinks that the entire, billions of people in the world need his unnecessary vaccines. It's shocking.
It is.
So my goal in life is, at this point with the book, is an informed electorate. I believe in America. I love the country, and I believe in a proper debate where you argue the merits of a case. But I cannot stand the lying and the deceit and it's so disingenuous. I mean, these hoaxes, one after another, really expose the deceitfulness of presenting themselves as the advocate when really they're the enemy. And of course, Barack Obama was the huckster in chief.
Yeah, right. So Linda, how do we protect ourselves as a people, as Americans? How do we protect ourselves from falling victim to these hoaxes? Do you have any strategies for us that, how do we identify hoaxes? How do we recognize that they're hoaxes? How do we fight back against them? What are some of the tools and strategies you might have for our viewers?
I think the most effective thing to fight back is to understand what they're doing. Like, in other words, if the American people understand that this is a psychological operation, that they are trying, like, for example, fear. Fear is one of the most powerful motivating emotions that there is. So think about we'll do it in terms of the coronavirus, okay? The coronavirus was, there was an outbreak. But it was the World Health Organization, the specialized agency of the United Nations, that declared it a pandemic. And then it was Rod Rosenstein's sister, Nancy Messonnier, at the CDC. Oh, yeah, this is a pandemic. So think of here. This is my operating principle: is if you want to know the motive, look at the result. What fear does is regresses people back to a state of childish compliance. Oh my God, I'm so afraid. Just do anything to make me safe. So now the country is terrified. Really, the models for the projections of the mortality of coronavirus are so fraudulent, all written by globalists, all done for this, what I call it is political medicine. This is political medicine. It is not medical science. And my opinion is that President Donald Trump should bring Robert F. Kennedy back into the White House and have him start a commission on vaccine health. And I am not anti-vaxxers or whatever they call. Absolutely not. I am pro-vaccine safety. And now we have this huge effort. Oh, we need a vaccine. No, we don't need a vaccine against COVID-19. We do not. It is an effort. If you read about Bill Gates and you understand what his globalized vaccine effort is, you understand it's the vehicle for social control and the imposition of a one world government. It's very frightening. And in fact, there's a quote. I'm going to read this to you because it's always in my mind. It was from Henry Kissinger. You're probably familiar with this. It was from the Bilderberg Conference in Evian, France in 1991. I kept it on my screen so that I could read it because it's absolutely chilling, okay? This is in Henry Kissinger's own words. Today, America would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told that there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all peoples of the world will plead to deliver them from the evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by the world government. That is Henry Kissinger in 1991. This is not some crazy conspiracy theory. We are witness right now to the globalist blitzkrieg because they're terrified, Alex.
Yeah.
If Trump is reelected, he will dismantle the deep state and they will all be exposed.
So yeah, Linda, it seems like one of the things that these hoaxes all have in common is that they rely on fear, right? They're trying to stampede us all and to frighten us all. Oh, the climate's going to change. You're going to die from a virus. Some kind of boogeyman that they're concocting. And so I guess whenever somebody's trying to frighten us, that's a good warning sign, huh?
Absolutely. And the UN Agenda 2030 and their 17 sustainable goals, that is absolutely a blueprint for one world government. So anyone that thinks I'm exaggerating, all they have to do is read about it. And it is absolutely shocking. I mean, if you are an American who believes in our constitutional republic and liberty and our individual freedoms, you better not vote for any of the Democrats that they're going to field. I mean, look at Biden. The man's demented. How are they going to field him? I don't know who they're going to put in his place. But whoever it is, it'll be someone that will not be an America First president. And that is what we need.
Yeah. So Linda, where do people get your book? Where can people read about these hoaxes? Do you have a website? Is Amazon a good place? What do you recommend?
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate the question. The book is available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, any bookstore they can order it. And they can go to my website at lindagoudsmit.com. It's Goudsmit.
Hey, well, Linda, thank you so much for writing it. Thank you for sounding the alarm about these things. And let's be in touch. I'm sure they got more hoaxes in the hopper. They'll be coming back to us soon. So we'll be back with you again. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you.